we've got a more local guest, somebody who many of you will know from his varied roles in tech, finance, healthcare, and he's currently CEO of the European software company Staria. Please welcome to the stage, Artti Aurasmaa. Hi, Artti.
Hello.
Got a fan club in the front row that the live streamers won't be able to see, but just to say that was a very cool welcome. So, Artti, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Before we get started, just tell us, for anyone not familiar with Staria, the background to the company and your role there.
Yeah, thank you. Great to be here. So Staria, we want to be the most trusted navigator of growth for our customers. And how we do that, we provide a growth platform, which includes financial infrastructure, ERP systems, related systems on the round. And then what we are known of is our global accounting, global payroll services. So we provide global accounting to now more than 40 countries, serving most dominantly internationally growing customers. So we are today more than 500 of us and sort of more than 20 nationalities working across the globe.
Yeah, incredibly global. And we've got quite a global audience here at Nordic Business Forum as well, one of our most international lineups as well. And I know a lot of you watching on different time zones on the live stream as well. What do you think it brings to Helsinki and to Finland to have these global perspectives represented?
Well, the Nordic welfare state, including Finland, has always been based on international trade. We are small countries in the middle of nowhere, so without international trade, there wouldn't be a welfare. And for that reason, obviously, so it needs to be an international audience. And all this has been catalyzed even further by, internet, and now even boosted further with AI and everything. So markets are global. So for us, the only way to survive in this world is to operate internationally, operate globally, find our niche markets. And that's why, I mean, all the Nordic countries needs to be very open and international societies. And it's great to be here with such an international audience.
It's not that common for most companies, though, to start out globally. A lot will start out locally, nationally, and then want to grow. But in the current landscape of economic challenges, I know there'll be a lot of companies that want to grow, but are perhaps a bit more cautious about that next step than they might have been otherwise.
Yes.
What would you say to that?
Well, in today's world, all the competition is global, like it or not. I mean, even if you decide to operate in a domestic market, you'll be facing international or global competition because, let's face it, through sort of the latest technology, all the businesses are becoming tech-driven and hence more global. So it's sort of either you grow or you die, and hence sort of if you want to play in this play field, it's probably better to have a proactive role. And especially in a small market like Finland, I mean, when you grow, quite soon the border starts to sort of limit your growth opportunities, and hence sort of international growth is becoming more and more vital, not just an option, but really sort of a mandatory requirement for a larger number of companies. And you know, it takes guts, it takes focus, it takes control, but it's also sort of a great opportunity.
Yeah, so a great opportunity, but what are the common challenges aside from external factors like a shaky economy?
Well, oftentimes we probably tend to overestimate our strengths and sort of superior customer benefits. When you go abroad, it's not good enough to be slightly better than the competition. You need to have something superior. And then that relates to second challenge, that's the lack of focus. Because oftentimes when you operate in a small market like Finland, you tend to expand to different fields of business because that's the way how you grow in a more small market. But when you start to grow internationally, you need to have a crystal or laser clear focus on selected customer segments, on selected offering. And then sort of third thing, which I think is absolutely vital for us Finns. I mean, Finland is a very open society where we trust each other. We trust each other because we know each other. And I mean, as they say, Finland is not a country, it's a country club. And in that sort of environment, it's easy to trust each other because you know if you do something silly, everybody will know about it. it's different in a more global setting. And for that reason, even though I firmly believe in a completely open culture, you need to build the needed mechanisms and structures to have the data available so that you can build a culture of trust. And oftentimes that's sort of neglected from our side when we start internationalizing, and then there could be sort of challenges.
So there's the work culture, the business culture, but what about interactions with customers? You must have to approach branding perhaps in a slightly different way for different customer bases in different markets.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I think that there are two different angles to it. First of all, you need to have laser crystal focus on sort of offering what you actually do, but at the same time, it hasn't changed. Even though when you act global, you need to act local. So sort of the needed level of localization needs to be there. You need to understand the local competition, the local customer need, and that's why you need to have sort of business design. But typically, the business design is made on top of a business platform that needs to be scalable, that needs to be sort of robust enough. So that's why you end up typically into matrix organizations where you have strong countries sort of representing the customer, the local needs, but then at the same time, very strong platform on a group level to make sure that you can actually scale effectively.
I always love to hear some best case examples. So are there any Finnish startups that you think have managed to grow internationally really well in recent years that sort of we can hold up as an icon?
Definitely. I mean, if we start sort of just looking at our customer portfolio, there are a number of cases. First one that comes to my mind, obviously, is Volt, which is a well-known brand. They've done their scaling up already, operate across 26 countries, really sort of bringing the city to the pocket. But I also would like to focus more and more on the newcomers that we have the great pleasure to work with. And what is sort of so interesting about these times when we are talking about the difficulties, that there are still sort of massive pockets of international growth, and we are seeing that more and more in sort of green energy, AI, quantum computing, and one company that I'm following really closely right now is a company called Coolbrooks, sort of one of our latest additions to our customer portfolio, doing marvelous stuff. So we are going to hear more about them soon.
What is their sector? Tell us a bit more about them.
Well, they are actually sort of electrifying sort of all sorts of industries. I mean, so high tech, but it's going to sort of provide massive energy and carbon savings globally. So that's a company to follow.
Okay, one to watch. I want to talk a bit about Staria's growth as well.
Sure.
You've got some, I mean, they are incredible numbers. This year, you're estimating to grow by almost 40% with a revenue of 50 million euros, 180 new employees this year. You've only been at the company for a couple of years, but you've obviously played a role in this. What are the pillars of the company's growth strategy?
Well, I mean, collaboration, working together, working as a one team. I mean, we heard just a moment ago Patrick Lencioni talking about sort of functioning teams. It's all teamwork. Growth is a team sport. Courage to sort of even with difficult times, have the guts, invest into growth, believe in yourself, but also making those tough decisions that sort of in our world, I mean, we could expand in multiple directions, but we've decided to focus on serving international growth companies, and then commitment, sort of long-term thinking. We are here for a long journey with our customers, and we invest into our customer relationships because we want to be guiding them on a sort of longer journey. And significant part of our growth is coming actually from the growth of our existing customer portfolio and new ones coming in. So those are the pillars.
All right. Speaking a bit more personally, I read another interview with you where you said, don't underestimate routines.
Sure.
Which I thought was a really interesting comment when we're often talking about flexibility and agility in startups. So what is it about routines that you think is so important, and what are your own personal top routines?
To me, that's really simple. We are what we do. I mean, first, of course, you need to do some thinking, but thinking, if it doesn't translate to something that you do, doesn't make much of a difference. And then if you do one thing only once, that doesn't make bigger of a difference, but it's what you do constantly day over day. And that's what routines are all about. So that's what actually come out of us. But yeah, my personal routines, very much related to continuous personal development at work, at home, at wherever I go. So, I mean, I've always said the day when you don't learn something new is a missed opportunity. Whereas sort of routine work is part of what you do, sort of managing and leading the team and whatnot, I also try to put myself into situations where I'm outside of my comfort zone.
Like here, maybe? Huge audience.
Yeah, coming here, yeah. So that's one of those things. Try to learn new skills. I've combined my sort of long-term passion related to long-term sports to my other passion being reading books. So today I listen books and listen podcasts while I run. And then sort of I'm addicted to Duolingo now, so trying to learn new languages. So
wow.
That's it, yeah.
And fitting all that in while being a CEO. Congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us here. Artti Aurasmaa from Staria.
Thank you.